Welcome to Suthichai Live English. My guest today, I don't think I have to introduce because she looks very much like me. She's on a visit from the United States. So from time to time, we go out to the provinces so that you can see the real thing. And this time we went to Phuket. And one of the things that we did was to visit a morning market, which is my favorite, Kate Yoon.
Hi.
Hi. So we went to this market, and I think it was magical and very exciting. A lot of things we saw at the market are things that we usually do not see, even in Thailand, not to mention outside of Thailand. So you had a clip. You shot the video. Let's have a look.
Yes.
So we call it
Gasset market is the name of the market.
Yes. So how did it strike you this time?
It's well, it brought back a lot of memories.
Yeah.
Because I did grow up in Thailand.
Yeah.
I did not grow up in Phuket, but
and this is kanun, right?
Kanun.
Jackfruit and
sato,
yes.
I believe is called bitter beans.
Really?
Yes, or it has many names actually. Yes.
And
That's the star that was already shelled.
yeah.
And lots of Thai sweets.
Pineapple. Phuket has very good, small but very tasty pineapple.
Yes, very special.
And this is
what is it
Mo
called?
gang.
Mo gang.
Yeah.
Mo gang.
You see how versatile she is. It's so natural for her.
Yes.
And
Lots of fruits.
yeah. And the durian.
This was the guy who made. This was not my durian, that one, but
No.
he did open one for me. And
Yes.
it was very delicious. Yeah, it was very exciting to be in a very local and very active market very early in the morning. Apparently, people started coming in at 4 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
And by 6 a.m., it was as if the whole world was awake,
All
buying
right.
buying chilies and herbs and vegetables and things to eat.
One thing
Seafood.
missing, very conspicuous with the absence, tourists.
True. And that was actually one of the better things was people were living real life,
Yeah.
their real life, their
Yeah.
everyday life. They could really care less about me filming.
No, they didn't look at you. They didn't
No,
stare at you
they-
and say, "What are you doing here?"
Not at all. It was actually quite lovely. And the variety of food was,
Look at that. That is the coconut.
and the skills that you see, it was, it's
Incredible.
amazing.
And this is the blood. You don't
Chicken.
usually eat blood back in
No,
in
chicken
America.
blood, chicken feet.
Chicken feet and the papaya,
Yeah, all the vegetables you can ask for.
sweet potato, and mangoes.
Taro,
Taro.
cabbage,
Yes.
cucumbers.
Yes.
Yeah. And the other thing that was heartwarming for me, because I live in America right now, and it feels like people don't cook anymore, or not as much as they used to. And what this market sort of symbolized for me is that home cooking is still happening, as well as fast food that we are really good at and known for.
Yeah, these are the khao gang, you see, all
Yeah.
the curries.
All the different curries and
And people
already
actually
made-
come here and buy this, plastic bag full of food, go home and have their breakfast.
Yeah, no, and that probably along with the stuff that they make as well. Just supplementing, and of course sticky rice and mango, which is the probably the dish of Thailand outside of pad Thai. I think people know. Mango sticky rice, and I love how we still use the banana leaves
Yes,
as the
yes.
packaging.
Yes.
Yeah,
And the price tags.
so cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably the best spot location
Yeah.
that
I have some
that you
still
go to.
pictures. Kapi.
Oh.
All kinds of kapi there.
Yes. Pastes.
Paste, yeah. And you don't look at the
Yes.
vendor.
The
This is the
Khanom Krok.
yes. And
Yes.
how is this particular?
It was
Vendors.
authentic and
Uh-huh.
amazing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just like when we were little.
Yeah. What? How does it taste? This particular
The Khanom
vendors.
Krok, it was very much
Ah.
not very sweet. Oh, there I am.
What's that?
With a lot of
What's that?
chili sauce.
No,
That's
no,
it.
this one,
Yeah,
the
there's
chili
a
sauce.
huge tub of chili sauce.
Yeah, and tell the story about this particular dim sum shop.
Yeah, it was a sit down
Yeah.
dim sum, like a tea/dim sum
Yeah.
breakfast spot.
Yeah.
And you could choose your own seats, and
They come around
they
with
readily came with multiple options
Yeah.
of little dishes
Yeah.
of like 2 pieces of dim sum.
yes,
And so we got to like choose many different things.
yes.
And actually, the best part was the invoice. The what do you call it? The
cashier, the cashier.
Yeah, when you get your check.
Yeah.
Which
There's no
was-
check.
No check. Nope. And there was an addition that was happening in her head.
Yeah.
And then she just she just counted the dishes.
Yeah.
We had no idea how much each one was.
No.
And she just presented a number at the end.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And
And then she said the total is 335 baht.
yes.
And we had to trust her with that.
Yeah, I think you said, how can we be sure?
Yeah.
And she said, I am. I am.
I am
sure.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't get a receipt. If you wanted to know how much each dish costs, then no, there's no detail. For
No,
you.
it's an honor system.
Honestly,
It's the most the most trusted way of transaction, right?
I know.
Yeah.
As long as you are happy with the total sum, you don't argue.
Well, I don't know if you can argue. I think you just you just trust.
You just have to trust.
Yes, and the experience paid for.
Yeah.
Whatever that was.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And then, I had this coffee, the black coffee, very local.
Go-
There's a picture of me having that cup of coffee.
Gopi.
Kopi O. Because O means black. Kopi O means, this one. This particular, very bitter,
Very dark.
very real.
Very coffee.
Yeah, very coffee,
Yep. Yeah.
And you usually don't get it. I mean, Starbucks, would never be able to provide this kind of taste for me, the real taste. But I think that it is the environment. In the morning, people actually go there for their breakfast. You can get kway teow noodle, you can get khao tom, porridge, you can get tea, breakfast, Western breakfast. You can have bread or toast if you want. They'll provide everything. Or you have the local food.
Yeah. It was like a true sense of community as well. I think people who live there just go and see their friends, like their friends, and they probably are friends with the vendors, and it's just a fun gathering, daily activity kind of place.
I was quite happy that when I checked them out, the vendors, and said, how is it doing? How's business? They said it's okay. It's better after COVID. It's not back to the normal level yet before COVID, but they survived COVID. There was one vendor in particular who told me that it's okay, we survived. We survived, but we did survive COVID, and that is really something.
Yeah.
There was a point during the crisis, during the COVID pandemic, that nobody was quite sure whether we could survive. I mean, literally,
Yeah.
whether we could survive or we would die, or all businesses were closed down and there would be no future. But they stayed on
Yeah.
Some of them had to stay home, but they did manage to come to the market, and there were no buyers. People were not leaving home.
Yeah.
Instead, they got the delivery service. But these vendors did not have any delivery service. They just have to wait until things, die down, so to speak,
Yeah.
before they came back. And when they came back, the business was very small. But they had to survive. In the provinces, they did better than people in Bangkok. People in Bangkok had to rely on delivery,
Yep.
and food was rare. In the provinces, you could just go out of your home, say a few hundred feet, and then you can pick fruit.
Yeah. Well, you could probably go to your local market, right? And you just walk there,
Yeah.
and or you bicycle there, and this is very much a testament to a tight community like Phuket. And as soon as they probably felt safe,
Yeah.
I'm sure they went back to their same vendors, and it wasn't like they had too many choices either.
No.
But at the same time, they knew to support each other. And again, that back to the honor system
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
of course we're going to trust that people will come back, and trust in the quality of the food and the produce and everything. No, it's if I mean, besides people wearing masks,
Yeah.
which only a few of them were, you can't even tell that we went through a few years of the pandemic.
No, I know.
Because
I
it was
know.
very much an active and thriving, local market.
And you talk about organic food. How organic can you be? Or how,
Natural.
This is very natural.
Yes.
And that's why people are healthier in the provinces, because they go to the market, they pick up the fresh fruit, vegetables, and then they go home and they cook. Or sometimes they just eat there.
Yeah.
So there's no added sugar, no added salt.
Yeah.
People are healthy.
Yeah. No, they're still taking care of themselves and their families by making their own dishes when they can, and I do think the support of the community and just having a community that is as important as eating healthy food, and being able to rely on your community and seeing your friends, and so it's like a social as well, physical, social, emotional
network, I would say. Social network, which is very important for a community.
Yeah, very much so.
And I ask a lot of elderly vendors, I said, why are you still working? What about the children? Oh, the children have gone to universities. Some of my kids already graduated, they're working. I said, and they're supporting you. Yeah, but I like coming every day.
Yeah.
I like meeting my friends who come and buy things from me.
Yeah.
And they are my community.
Yeah.
Because they speak the same language.
Yeah.
And mind you, there are a lot of political, social issues discussed in the market.
Lots of very very animated topics and discussions.
A debate on topics of the day.
Things they have no control over.
No. But they, and especially people in the South, they're quite robust in their political awareness. They will, debate about what the government does, what the government doesn't do. They will talk about the events the day before. For example, when we went there was a big flood the day before in Phuket.
Yeah.
And everywhere you went, they would talk about the flood.
Yeah.
And how lucky we were that there was no rain that particular day. But they would start discussing urban plan, town plan, or the why is it that this particular area is flooded all the time and the rest are not flooded.
Yeah. No, it's the market serves as a place of resources for food, for connection, for a sense of belonging, and it's an important part of any community, but yeah, I'm just happy that I got to witness
Yeah.
in person.
What there are morning markets in America too. How would you compare morning markets in a small town in America
Yeah.
and the Phuket market?
So I have not lived everywhere in America, but the
Mm-hmm.
places I have, I cannot say that anything like this exists. The closest would be a
What do you
farmer's
call
market.
farmers market?
Farmer's market, which only happens, once a week in
Yeah.
most places.
Oh.
If some places they might have twice a week,
Mm-hmm.
3 times at the most. So there's not really the same scene as what we have here, which is too bad. And again, people aren't cooking as much.
No.
So there's, when you get to go to these markets, you a lot of times get already made food
Uh-huh.
and other, like, I don't know, things. I mean, it's kind of rare to find a market that's just with like fresh produce and seafood and raw ingredients. So
And the faces are not familiar. I mean, they change faces right every week. It's
yeah, sometimes. I mean, depends. It's smaller communities. You will get a similar that connection of the same farmers and vendors and bakers, and that's fun. Like I enjoy
so
going
you know
to those
some of them.
markets. Yes,
Every week they came and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
met them on a regular basis.
yes, but only during the growing season, which
Oh,
is 3-4 months out of the year. So farmers markets actually are like special situations
Uh-huh.
because it's not all year because of the weather.
Winter when it's too cold, they don't come.
Most places, no. Some towns, like in California, you might have a year-round farmers market. But where I live in Columbus, Ohio, we have from May until October is the outside farmers market, and there's a town not too far away that has an indoor market.
Yeah.
But at that point, you don't really get fresh
No.
produce. You might get like potatoes and pumpkin and things that you can store during cold seasons. But yeah, no, the Thailand, I know other Southeast Asian countries have similar markets as we do.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have to remember how special that is because it's not everywhere.
You must tell a story about your durian experience. You went to the market, and then there was this local durian, which is quite small, but
Well,
they promised that it was going to be tasty. So you decided to buy it, hoping to going back to your hotel and to eat it. But then you learned immediately that no, durian is banned in the hotel. So what did you do?
well, your son, my
Yeah.
brother, looked at me and he said, "You're not going to be able to eat that all." And thankfully, it was a small sized durian.
Yeah.
They called it
The ban.
Durian ban.
Durian ban. Ban means local.
Local.
Yeah. And local for that particular province too. It's not local, Thai local.
Yeah, no, I've never seen the durian that size
Yeah,
anywhere
small,
else.
but I think at first we had doubts that it would taste good.
Well, first of all, it was like 7 a.m., which is not
Time for
a
breakfast.
common time to eat durian if you are Thai.
Yeah.
And we had bought other things, so we had lots of bags and things.
Yes.
But I was determined to eat the whole durian that we just bought, and the guy just like opened it up for us.
Yeah.
So we
And
found.
that takes special
Yeah, it's
expertise.
a special skill. No, he was
Skill.
called.
Yeah.
He was somewhere else.
It was the only guy who can do it.
He was the only guy, and he came in.
Busy with something else.
Yeah, and he opened it for me.
Yeah.
So we, but not all the way, mind you. We still had to do like the
The
last
rest. So
part.
he just opened up, say, a little bit for you, so that you could yourself, open
Yeah.
it up,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Well, there's an art to eating durian. So I was determined to eat as much of the durian as I could.
Yeah.
And so we had to go find a place to sit outside the hotel, not not being able to bring it in.
Yeah.
And so we open it up.
Yeah.
And, there's sections in the durian.
Yeah. How many pieces?
Well, I think there were 2.5,
Yeah.
like 2 big ones and
Yeah.
a smaller piece.
Yeah.
So I consumed as much as I could, and
And you finished the whole thing?
well, we did.
Right.
I think Mom helped me with a little bit of it, but it was worth every baht
But
and time.
every baht and time.
Yes.
Wow, it was really good. The
Yes.
taste, it was tasty.
It was very tasty.
That's why they were so confident when I said, "Are you sure this is, as good as the famous brands of durian are in other parts of the country?"
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, we are sure."
Well, it was tasty, but it was also the ambiance of, it
Ambiance.
wasn't like just buying it from a supermarket,
No,
wrapped in plastic.
No.
It was the lung who came to help open it.
Yeah.
It was the story about, where the durian came from.
Yes.
And the fact that I couldn't bring it into the hotel and had to find a place to sit outside. And,
Why? Why is durian banned in Thai hotels?
Well,
Let's tell the Western audience, what is wrong with it? Why is it so tasty? Why is it banned?
Durian is exceptionally fragrant, shall we say. It's, I mean, people can, some people think that it's smelly.
Yeah.
It's a very unique
You either
aroma.
like it a lot or you hate it, right?
Well, I don't know if anyone likes the smell of durian.
No.
It's just different and strong.
Yeah.
It's very strong,
Yeah.
and it stays around.
Yeah.
It stays around inside of you as well.
For how many days?
I don't know. I mean, you can burp it and relive your durian experience.
Yeah.
So we can't bring it into hotels and
Air-
airports and
airport.
airplanes and
No.
probably most buildings might have like a sign that says no durian.
What happens if you bring durian home and you start eating? What do you do with the smell
With a smell in the house?
in the house?
I don't know.
You let it,
I mean, it's
disappear?
yeah, it's rare that you bring the whole spiky fruit home. You usually just bring the already, sectioned.
Even that, the smell is very,
Yeah.
very.
Well, you have to dispose it in a particular way. It's a very special fruit.
It is.
But if there are people who are obsessed with durian,
Yeah.
and they will go,
Yeah.
go very far to get their cravings.
I told you the story from my friend who is so obsessed with durian, but he's allergic to durian. But he loves it so much that every time he sits down for his annual sort of durian party, he would have his personal doctor with him. The doctor would know that once he takes it, he might just faint. But then he did it, and the doctor would have to give him injection, and then he survived. He has survived, but he cannot not have durian.
Wow.
So this is a
Yeah.
classic example of how crazy people are about durian. But those who don't like it at all can't even stand it.
Yeah, no, so I don't know if I told you this story. The first time Jim, my husband, encountered durian
Yeah.
was in a fishing village in a
In?
small village. I want to say probably it might have been Phuket actually. It
Okay.
was somewhere in the south.
Okay.
And we entered a small little hut where they store things and whatnot. And he smelled this different smell he's never had and never experienced in his life. And he looked at me and he said, "Is that rotting fish?"
Rotting.
And I go, "Well, it could be,
It could be.
but there's something overpowering the rotten fish."
Yeah.
And so we looked over, and of
Yes.
course there were a few durians. I think people were eating durian,
Yeah.
but it was also a fishing hut, so you have fish and durian happening at the same time. Yeah.
Did he finally eat durian, Jim?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm not sure if he you know, early in our relationship then. I'm not sure if he like liked it to, you know, so we stay together.
Yeah,
But
out of
he,
necessity, huh?
yes, he
But
does not.
now,
He likes it. He doesn't love it.
yeah.
But we have a daughter who
Yeah.
does love durian.
Wow.
So she's true. She truly has a Thai gene in her.
Do you get durian in a supermarket in America?
We get it frozen.
Frozen, but
Yes.
so it's not the same.
It's not the same, and it's very expensive. But when she comes to visit, I do oblige and have some in the freezer for her.
So, okay, in brief, your experience this time at the Phuket market is quite
It was
impressive.
yeah, very. That was the market itself was one of the best moments of our visit. You know, really felt like we got to experience the local people and see the food and ate quite a bit of.
When we actually sat down for breakfast, and that was
We sat down for dim sum.
dim sum.
I had the durian.
Yeah.
We got the kanom krok, the little
Yeah,
coconut pancakes,
Yeah.
and a couple of other things. And you had your coffee.
Yes.
Yeah.
My old York, which is the traditional local bitter, tasty coffee. And every time I go down south in the morning, that's what I have. My old York, that wakes me up, also reminds me of my childhood, and also the community is still there.
Yeah.
The community, the strength of community is so strong that people share their experiences in times of trouble, in good times and bad times. And that I think is very important for Thai community. We don't live apart, we don't live in gated areas. Some of them have their own farms, some of them have their own plantations, but some of them, of course, go and get a variety of fruit to sell. But all of them, every day, every morning, you find them there. And they do honest work. That's what I respect them. They don't steal, they don't cheat, because honesty is very important once you are there, because you see each other every day and you trust each other.
Yeah, and you take care
And
of
then
each
they don't
other.
just come and buy and sell. They discuss, how are your children doing? Oh, they've grown up. Oh, they've graduated. Oh, they've got married. Oh. And they exchange their experiences.
Yeah.
That is, I think, where the Thai community, not in the capitals, not in the main cities, but in the provinces, we still have that very valuable sense of community.
Yeah. And I would say that's more authentic than what you might find in the cities these days, because of the influx of people from everywhere else, and life in the cities aren't the way it used to be. And
did you notice the say maybe Myanmar workers there? They mix very well with the local people, and the local people need the labor from the neighbors. So the Myanmar young people come and work, and they support one another, and that's why the community becomes strong, because local people don't work anymore in that labor segment. So we get Myanmar people, sometimes Cambodian, sometimes Laos, but mostly in Phuket will be the Myanmar people, because it's the border provinces. So you see the mixture of cultures.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as well, religious too, right? Because it's very much
Muslim, Buddhists.
high number of Muslims and regular Buddhist Thais, with the monks in the morning.
Yeah, you see the monks in the morning too. Yeah, every morning in the market you see the monks coming by, and the local people would pay respect, pay homage, offer food. That is where another part of the social fabric is strengthened. That is religion, You see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else was the food too is, you know, a lot of it is southern and a lot of it is sort of traditional Thai food, but you also have like Muslim foods
Yeah.
and Malay and Indian. That's yeah, it feels very much like a melting pot.
It is. It is.
Yes.
And they live peacefully, harmoniously together. So thank you very much, Kate, for for this discussion on our experience in the morning market of Phuket, the Kaset market. Thank you.
Thank you for
Bye-bye.
taking me there.
Bye bye.
Bye.